In the weather all over the low country of South Carolina, and one area that usually can take a beating when you have a tropical storm or hurricane is downtown Charleston. Meteorologist Arielle has been down there all day to kind of check out the conditions there. Ari, what are you seeing?
Well, Rob, the winds have definitely picked up here within the last, I would say, maybe hour or so. We had a little bit of a sprinkle move through as well, but generally it's been dry. A lot of people hanging out here, but something we've been watching very closely is the water. Now, as those winds continue to pick up, we've seen the swells in the water become a little bit higher. Now, the Battery is somewhere that's known for flooding in Charleston. We flood at a high tide of just about 7 feet. Now, that being said, we are past the king tides, and our tides are a little bit lower. We're watching the next couple tides for the potential for some splashover and even the potential for some flooding, but it definitely looks like our next 4 tides are looking better than what we could have seen if this had happened last week. We have a tide tonight at about 6:40. That is a low tide, and we're not expecting to see many issues from that. We are expecting to see that rain pick up just a little bit, and that could lead to some flooding, especially here in the Battery. But generally, we're not looking at too many issues out there. Now, tonight we do have a high tide overnight at about 12:35. We could see some minor splashover with that. Now, that tide is expected to be just about 5.5 feet, if not a little bit under. So that's definitely in the right direction. We're seeing those lower tides, which will be good for us. With those winds expected to continue to stay offshore, we're continuing to see those tides stay a little bit lower, which is definitely some good news for the people here in the Battery. Now, as we head into Saturday morning, those rain chances are expected to definitely pick up, and we do have a tide at about 6:48 tomorrow morning. That is a low tide, and rain is going to be our biggest issue with that. But the high tide as we head into Saturday evening or Saturday afternoon is just about 1:20. That one, if the winds do shift in Florence. Now, that track is expected to stay to the north of us, as Rob was just talking about, but if that track does stay a little further south or comes even closer to us here in the low country, we could see a little shift in that wind, and if that is pushing that water on shore, that's the tide we're going to have to watch for the potential for some splashover or even the potential for some flooding. Now, here in the Battery, it does look like people have taken those precautions. They've boarded up their doors. They put out some sandbags. I mean, flooding here in the low country is something that we're used to, definitely ready for it. And we're going to continue to watch things here in the Battery. Those tides, we have them marked down, and we're going to continue to watch them. Right now, if you do take a look at the water, it does look like things are starting to pick up just a little bit, but generally, things are still calm out here as my hat's about to blow off. Down in the Battery, I'm meteorologist Arielle. Count on 2.
All right, thank you, Arielle, out there at the Battery in downtown Charleston. Rob, some people are asking me, they think it's a tropical storm now.